Bonjour, bienvenue les amis. Apa kabar hari ini? Comment ça va? Semoga teman-teman semua tetap semangat ya, walaupun cuaca akhir-akhir ini agak mudi, kadang panas, kadang hujan, tapi yang penting semangatnya harus tetap stabil karena hari ini kita bakal mulai webinar perdana kita bersama natif Prancis yang berjudul Exploring Global Learning and Careers from a French Perspective yang diselenggarakan bareng komunitas Les Amis en Français atau LAF dari IFI Serpong. Webinar ini merupakan bagian dari kegiatan komunitas klub Frankofon yang dibentuk oleh IFI Serpong sejak 21 Januari 2025 dengan nama resmi Les Amis en Français atau LAF. FYI, IFI Serpong adalah cabang keenam dari jaringan Institut Français Indonesia yang terletak di Tangerang, Gading Serpong. Untuk LAF sebelumnya sudah mengadakan beberapa webinar, percakapan di grup, dan lecture. Untuk live ini juga terbuka bagi siapapun yang ada di seluruh Indonesia untuk saling sharing. Buat teman-teman juga yang mau daftar untuk webinar untuk komunitas WhatsApp Live ini juga bisa langsung mengikuti komunitasnya nanti kita akan kirimkan linknya melalui chat box. Nah, untuk hari ini kita bakal ngobrol-ngobrol bareng narasumber yang super inspiring langsung dari Prancis. Jadi, siapin catatan dan pertanyaan buat dapetin insight seputar studi dan karir global di Prancis. Tapi sebelum kita mulai, izinkan saya untuk memperkenalkan diri terlebih dahulu. Perkenalkan dan bertemu lagi dengan saya, Nur Maulani atau Lani dari tim sosial media IFI Serpong atau biasa dipanggil sebagai Minvi yang akan memandu webinar hari ini. Sebelum webinar ini dimulai, saya ingin menjelaskan terlebih dahulu mengenai webinar hari ini yang di yang di mana webinar hari ini akan dilaksanakan menggunakan bahasa Prancis dan bahasa Inggris. Lalu apabila teman-teman ada yang bingung, terus juga teman-teman ada yang mau bertanya eh, lebih lanjut mengenai arti dari pesan yang disampaikan itu apa, bisa langsung ditulis aja di kolom komentar atau bisa langsung ditanyakan pada sesi Q&A. Lalu juga untuk sistem Q&A-nya, teman-teman bisa langsung bertanyakan di chat box secara langsung dari sesi dimulai atau bisa juga nanti setelah sesi selesai. Lalu juga di sini Minvi juga mau menjelaskan sedikit nih mengenai e-sertifikat. Untuk teman-teman di sini juga pasti banyak yang mengikuti webinar hari ini untuk mendapatkan e-sertifikat. Nah, untuk teman-teman yang mau mendapatkan e-sertifikat, bisa mengikuti tata cara yang ada di layar ini. Bisa langsung follow Instagram IFI Serpong, lalu di screenshot untuk bukti follow-nya. Terus juga bisa foto untuk kegiatan hari ini dengan menggunakan hashtag webinar live di Instagram Story, tag IFI Serpong untuk kita repost, lalu bisa langsung di screenshot kedua buktinya untuk kita eh, untuk dimasukkan ke form data kehadiran, lalu untuk teman-teman bisa langsung mengakses sertifikatnya nanti setelah webinar diselenggarakan. Lalu untuk teman-teman juga yang belum bisa mengikuti webinarnya sampai akhir, nggak perlu khawatir karena webinar ini juga akan di-record sampai akhir, yang dimana nanti bisa diakses melalui YouTube IFI Serpong. Begitu. Nah, juga sekarang saya di sini tidak sendirian, yang dimana di sini juga ada moderator yang akan memandu sesi hari ini. Beliau adalah Ibu Merani yang juga termasuk penanggung jawab IFI Serpong. Beliau akan mendampingi kita dari awal sampai akhir sesi, termasuk memfasilitasi. Dan pastinya kita juga kedatangan narasumber spesial kita hari ini langsung dari Prancis, yaitu Marin. Marin akan berbagi banyak hal seputar pendidikan tinggi, pengalaman studi, serta karir global dari sudut pandang warga negara Prancis. Jadi, untuk teman-teman bisa langsung siapkan insight-nya terlebih dahulu. Namun sebelum sesi ini dimulai, di- sebelum sesi ini dimulai, mungkin bisa kita foto bersama terlebih dahulu untuk teman-teman bisa foto dan screenshot kirim di Instagram Story-nya. Jadi bisa dinyalakan dulu untuk kameranya ya, teman-teman. Oke, merci. Saya tunggu sampai jam 4.13 ya untuk sesi foto terlebih dahulu. Boleh dinyalakan untuk kameranya? Oke. Hmm. Eh, Sudah ya? Sudah tidak ada lagi yang mau on kamera? Jika sudah, bisa kita langsung saja ke sesi foto bersama untuk dokumentasinya, terus juga bisa langsung difoto untuk di Instagram Story-nya ya. Oke, kita foto bersama terlebih dahulu. Un, deux, trois. Oke, sekali lagi yang untuk sesi keduanya, satu, dua, tiga. Un, deux, trois. Oke, merci beaucoup. Lalu setelah ini saya serahkan untuk Ibu Meirani untuk mengambil alih sesi hari ini. Silakan.
Ok, merci beaucoup Lani.
Hmm.
Alors, les amis, comment allez-vous? Comment allez-vous? Ada yang mau coba menjawab, meresponi? Boleh di
Très
chat
bien.
box. Très bien, ok. Merci
Ça
beaucoup
va bien.
semuanya. Comment allez-vous?
Ça va
Comment ça
bien.
va?
Oh, très bien. Oke, kayaknya udah ada banyak yang tahu ya tentang bahasa Prancis atau kata-kata dalam bahasa Prancis. Mungkin saya mau ini dulu dong berinteraksi sama teman-teman ya. Udah ada yang pernah belajar bahasa Prancis sebelumnya? Mungkin bisa raise hand pakai itu melalui fitur Zoom. Atau mungkin ada yang mahasiswa eh, program studi bahasa Perancis. Oh, sudah ada nih Kak Tegar atau Kak Siti juga sudah belajar bahasa Prancis. Oke, jadi mungkin plus ou moins vous comprenez ce qu'on va dire, oke? Kak Jihan juga sudah pernah belajar bahasa Prancis. Oke, terima kasih. Nah, terima kasih ya teman-teman sudah menyempatkan hadir untuk webinar sore ini dan akan menyaksikan diskusi tentang pendidikan dan karir profesional seorang Prancis gitu ya. Nah, untuk sesi kali ini, kebetulan kita ada apa namanya narasumber yang adalah orang Prancis yang bernama Marine Marques atau Miss Marine. Nanti beliau akan menceritakan em, tentang apa namanya tentang journey-nya selama bersekolah, kemudian kuliah dan bekerja gitu. Tapi nanti kita akan menggunakan tiga bahasa nyampur-nyampur, it's okay, gitu ya. Because love is for everybody. Everybody can learn French, can know about France, and can interact with the French people also. Jadi mungkin sebelum webinar dimulai, before we start the presentation by Marine, I will introduce Marine first. Marine is now working at the Embassy of France in Indonesia as the coordinator of pedagogic and linguistic. So she's now in Jakarta and she's working at the French Embassy in Indonesia. And then before working at the French Embassy, she was working at the Présidence Française du Conseil di Kementerian Dalam Negeri Prancis gitu ya. Jadi karirnya memang di pemerintahan. And then sebelum bekerja, Marin adalah mahasiswi master di European Business atau bahasa Perancisnya Master en Affaires Européennes dari Université de la Sorbonne. Ada yang tahu Université de la Sorbonne di sini pernah dengar? Pernah dengar ya? Oke, dong. Memang Université de la Sorbonne est vraiment très connue dans le monde entier. Donc, mungkin beberapa di antara Anda semua juga pernah dengar tentang Université de la Sorbonne. Dan lisansnya Marin juga di Université de la Sorbonne atau bachelor degree-nya juga di Université de la Sorbonne yang adalah bidang Applied Foreign Languages gitu. Jadi eh, studi di Prancis sebagai mahasiswi di Université de la Sorbonne, kemudian bekerja di pemerintahan dan sekarang Marine is working at the French Embassy. So she has a lot of experiences. She must have a lot of network around the world. Ya, nanti Marin juga akan she will introduce herself. So and I think without further ado, I will give this scene to Maureen, and after the section finish, we can have like a Q&A session, and you can interact with our facilitator here. Okay, silakan. So I will give la scène pour Maureen, s'il vous plaît.
Bonjour, hello everyone. You can all hear me, right? There's no problem with my device? Okay, great. So thank you for this introduction and for inviting me today. My name is Marine, as you said. I work now at the French Embassy, and I'm 29 years old. I'm French and Portuguese, have two nationalities. And today I will present you my journey to Indonesia. So can we have the PPT presentation, please?
Sure, Marin.
Well, it's just a few slides, but so you can see some stuff. Thank you. So I think we can go to the third slide already. I will present you the school life in France and how it works there, how it is organized. So in France, yeah, thank you. And the next one. This is the free area I will present today, the school life in France, the academic life and the professional life. So I will move on right now with the school life in France. And do not hesitate to interrupt me if you have any question regarding what I'm saying, or if you don't understand me, or if there is any problem. Okay. So in France, I don't know exactly how it is organized here in Indonesia, but school is mandatory from 6 years old, so we start at 6. We have 5 years of middle school, then we go to junior high school with 4 years, and then 3 more years of high school before going to university. So I'm gonna focus on junior high school and high school. At this period, what we study is let's say the basic of geography, history, French language, French literature, sports, music, technology, and civic education. And beside that, we get to choose languages. We have English that is mandatory, and then we get to choose between at least Spanish and German. And if the school has more options, we can choose from Italian, Portuguese, Arabic, Russian, and many more. It depends on the school resources, but the basics one are German and Spanish. I choose Spanish. Most people choose Spanish because it's easier when you're French to learn Spanish compared to German. I wanted to learn German actually, but my parents said no, because we are Portuguese also, and they told me Spanish will be easier for you, don't go for German. So that's why I end up learning Spanish. And well, in this year, we have also options to do some extracurricular activities, but they are not taken into account for our grades. It's just activities we can do beside, but on a voluntary basis, let's say, or just for ourselves. We get also the chance to learn about Latin and ancient Greek, which can be interesting when you want to learn languages, but most people don't really do it. We have so the subjects, after these 4 years of junior high school, we have a final exam. And if we succeed this final exam, we get to start high school. High school is a bit different because, well, it has changed now, and I don't know exactly how it is right now. But back in the days, not so long ago, because I'm not that old, but when I was in high school, we had a common pass the first year where everyone has the same subjects. And then we get to choose between three general career. One that is more based on languages and literature, one that is more economic, and one that is more scientific. Then you also have technologic one, or let's say manual one, but this is not within the general path. I choose the linguistic and the literature path. So it means my major subject was philosophy. I had 9 hours of philosophy per week, which is a lot. Philosophy was, I don't know if philosophy is tough in high school here. Can someone, Mariani, can you tell me if it is?
Actually, I'm afraid that it's not taught at the high school. Yeah,
Okay.
philosophy. Yeah,
Okay.
Iqbal has the same opinion too. It's not actually
Yeah.
taught at our high school.
Yeah, in France, wherever you choose the scientific path, the economic path, or the other path, you always have philosophy. It's mandatory in all the paths you're choosing. But if you choose the one I choose, you have 9 hour. You had at that time 9 hours of philosophy. Philosophy is a good subject. It's very interesting because it enables us to develop our critical thinking, which is a skill that is important for life. So it's very complicated at first, but once we get into it, it really adds something to your life. Actually, it's something that helps us to be more mindful about ourselves and also the world within us. So it's I think it's something that everyone should at least try once, because it was very helpful in my life to have this subject, even though I didn't continue in university. So well, we have these three paths that prepare us for different universities, for different major at university. And what I wanted to do was based on languages. That's why I choose this path. I will come back on university a bit later, but about the school life in France, we do have trips organized, not every year. Well, it depends on your school. If you're in a private school, maybe you will have trips every year. I was in public school. So in middle school, we had, actually, in every step of my school life, we had different trips. When we were in middle school, we always go on something called green class to discover nature with our teachers and a part of France that we've studied for the whole year. When we are in junior high school and high school, the trips are based on the languages we are learning. So I've been to Spain and I've been to United Kingdom with my school. Since we were also studying the First and Second World War, we've also been to different spots in Europe where the rest of the war can be seen. So we had this kind of thing, but beside that, we are not very prepared for university, actually. I think at least at that time, we lack that, we lack of that. I think they're trying to change it, but the university preparation is quasi inexistent, and we have to discover by ourselves what we want to do. We are able to talk with speakers like we are doing right now, but it's kind of hard to find at that age what you want to do with your life. And most of my friends who went to university changed their path after 1 or 2 years because at that time it was the preparation was not set in a good way. But well, you still have access to books and to people to be able to discuss what you want to do. And what I wanted to do was to study languages and to go to Sorbonne University. This was my dream. I absolutely wanted to go there. And I wanted to do a major in foreign applied languages, which is basically a bachelor degree in 4 languages. It was in French, English, Spanish, and Portuguese, with classes of geopolitics, history, geography, languages, politics, and so on. So you can understand the world through pluridisciplinary perspective. So can we move on to the next slide, please? And unless you have question about high school and all this? No? We can come back on this later if you want. But I think it's more important to talk about academic and professional life since school life has changed a lot since I was there. So it's quite different now. So for my academic life, so my university life, if I might say, I was in Sorbonne University. So you can see pictures here. The first one is the square of Sorbonne University. So that's what you see when you arrive. The second one is our library, and the third one is the inside of the Sorbonne. So it's quite a beautiful building. It's the oldest university of France. It was a real privilege to study there. I'm very proud being able to do so. And so yeah, I got the chance to study for my bachelor's degree and then my master's degree. We can see with the dates that there is a 2 years gap between my bachelor's degree and my master's degree. It's because in Europe, it's very common to do a gap year, 1 year or 2 years. I don't know if it's common in Indonesia, but in Europe, many people, sometimes it's between high school and university, sometimes between the bachelor's degree and the master's degree. I choose this option. We just travel and work in order to discover ourselves and discover what we want to do. Because after my bachelor's degree, it opened quite a lot of doors because we get a lot of knowledge on history, geography, geopolitics, law, economics. So we have many options after that, and I didn't know what to do, and I didn't want to rush into one career that I wouldn't love. So I decided to take a step back and reflect on my path and to work a little bit. I decided at that time to go live in Spain and teach French, and then I came back later to the university. But I will come back on this later. So university, choosing a major, as I said, is kind of difficult, but we got open doors of university, and you get to talk to the students there. And yeah, I choose this one because for me it was very important to have this pluridisciplinary vision of the world, and since it's enable us to become quadrilingual and to discover, let's say, how the world works, but it was the perfect fit for me. Sorbonne University is great also because it has many international students. I think maybe a fifth or a quarter of the students there are international students, either from other European country or from all over the world. We have many exchanges program with other countries, and it's great actually because it's a unique opportunity to discover the French culture. This beautiful university is in the heart of Paris, so you have the real Parisian life and you experience this, and it's quite impressive. Yeah. So can we move to the next slide, please? Yes, so extracurricular activities. In university, it's something that is very important. At least it was for me. During my first year, I didn't do any extracurricular activity, and I was actually kind of bored and not very stimulated beside my classes. So in my second year, I decided to get involved in different things. And it led me to become the president of a students' union in Sorbonne University. That was the biggest one at the time. And our purpose was to defend the rights of the students and to help them whenever they had a problem. This experience was actually very helpful in my life, and it helped me get internship in the future. I got a lot of knowledge through that, and it was I would if I could do it again, I would do exactly the same. Pardon, j'ai vu un message. Okay, just so you know, I also had a part-time job beside my studies. So I was studying, I had a part-time job, I was volunteer in some association, and I had also these activities. I didn't have time for myself at that moment. I was basically just doing many, many things, but I don't regret it. I was working in a restaurant, in a Vietnamese restaurant, just close to the university actually. And yeah, part-time as well. Most students in France also have a part-time job besides the studies. Very, actually, I don't even remember if I had friends who didn't have a part-time jobs. I think we all did. It's the life in Paris is quite expensive, even though university is not that expensive. Unlike other country, like in the UK or the US, the life in Paris is still very expensive. So we all had a part-time job beside. And yeah, and beside this part-time job and university and sport, I was also involved in the sports team of Sorbonne University. I wanted to be involved in the civic life and the life of my university. So I became as well director of a newspaper that was talking about the students' rights. And I was a member of the board of representative. So it means I was in a room with the president, the teachers, and we had to debate of the functioning of the school. And all these opportunities, the three I mentioned here, they really helped me in my in the very beginning of my career when I had to choose for my internship and my first jobs. This has enabled me to be able to speak in front of big audience, to be able to express my ideas clearly in French and then in other languages. And it helped me to have more trust in myself, in my words. And I realized that most of the people who were sitting in that room, the board of representative, they didn't even read the document. So it was easy to be able to debate with them, even though they were more experienced. So yeah, it was a great experience to gain confidence and skills that you will need for your whole life. Okay. And this is actually to be involved in extracurricular activities. This is something I recommend to everyone whenever it's possible. It doesn't matter if it's something just for a few hours a week or something more time consuming like these free activities. But I think it's necessary and it's something that first will help you have first experience in, I don't know, managing a team, in redaction, in many things, in debating. But it will also help you get your first internships, get your first professional experiences. Okay, so we can move on to the next one. Maybe I will talk about my internships, internships and challenges. Yeah. So as part of my in France, it's not mandatory to do internships in your during your bachelor's degree. But since mine was very professionally focused and like the purpose was to develop professional skills rapidly, it was mandatory to do a traineeship. So I decided to do my traineeship in the Alliance Française of Lisbon in Portugal. Portugal is a country at the west of Europe. I'm French and Portuguese, so it was important for me to link these two in my career. And I worked there as a product manager, sorry, and as a French assistant to teachers. So it was my first professional experience abroad. It was a great experience. I got very lucky to have this internship. And actually, I don't know if it's how it works here, but I didn't find any job offer online. There was no job offer, but I wanted to go there, so I contacted them. They told me they never had intern in their life. So I told them, well, I can be your first intern and you just give me the task that needs support, and that's it. Whatever it is, I will be able to learn from it. So I think it's really important not to be limited to the job offers you see online, but to be also proactive, to go talk directly to the recruiters or to the structure that you aspire to work for. Because that's how I found actually these two internship mentioned on the PPT. It was the same. So the first one was in the framework of my bachelor's degree. And then for my master's degree, I also had a mandatory traineeship in the framework of my European studies. And it was complicated because it was during COVID. I don't know if you remember COVID. Sometime I felt like it was a dream, but it actually existed. And it was quite hard to find a traineeship at that time, and I found a free first internship that were cancelled because of COVID. So it was quite hard for us at that moment. But I got lucky enough that I contacted many deputy, many member of parliament, and I wanted to work for one of them. And one of them answered me and told me, okay, you can work in my team. And the picture you can see on the right is, well, myself with a mask because it was COVID in the main room of the French Parliament. So it's a beautiful place, as you can see. With this room is pretty amazing. If you ever go to Paris, it's free to visit. You just need to contact me. You can contact me, and I will help you to get in because you need a contact to enter. But I can put you in contact with people so you can visit it. It's a very beautiful palace, and I was lucky enough to work there for 6 months. So yeah, these two traineeships were very very different. One was more about French promotion of French language and project management in Portugal. The second one was in Paris. It was more politic. It was working for politicians. So pretty different, but both were very meaningful for my career and helped me to get to where I am today. So I'm really happy for that. And yeah, I want to say it one more time, but do not wait for job offers to be published. None of these job were published online. I just contacted the people. I got many people that told me no. I got many rejection, but one said yes, and it worked, and that's how I got this opportunity. So do not hesitate to do the same. Do not wait for, do not limit yourself to just the job offers. You can contact directly the persons, even on LinkedIn or in real life. Go see them. It might open doors, more doors than you might think about. Okay, we can move to the next one. Yes, I wanted to come back on the gap year. I don't know if it's common here, but yes, in Europe, it's very common to do a gap year. And in my academic journey, I decided to do it between my bachelor's and master's degree. So in order to be able to improve my Spanish skills even better, I decided to go to Spain. And I was in Sevilla, which is this beautiful city you can see on the picture. And I worked there as a French teacher for put independent. I wasn't working for Institut Français or Alliance Française. I was independent there, but it was a great experience. It helped me also reflect on what I wanted to do. I wanted to do the master's degree in European business, but I wasn't sure 100%. And it helped me decide that it's really what I wanted to do. I also was a volunteer in Erasmus Plus association. I don't know if you know what Erasmus is. It's a program that enables students to move to one country to another. Well, not only students, but it's most known for its student exchange program. And actually, I was supposed to do an Erasmus exchange during my bachelor's degree, but I decided not to do it in order to be able to fulfill the free curricular activity I showed you. I had the choice to either accept these three activities as president of association, director of publication, and member of the board, or to go abroad. And I decided to stay in Sorbonne University to do this. But I promised myself I would go abroad after that to equilibrate and balance my academic path. So yeah, usually people when they do a gap year, they try to do internship or travel or volunteering, civic service, anything that could help them to either gain first-hand experience and reinforce their will to continue in their path, or like I did, something a bit more, let's say, a bit less structured to be able to understand what I really want in my life. Sorry, vous avez des stratégies d'apprendre français pour apprendre le français facilement? La deuxième question est, avez-vous des informations pour travailler ou rester avec la famille française? Comme au pair. Okay, actually, I was au pair in Spain. I was au pair. And I was working as a private French teacher for them and for other people as well. Les stratégies pour apprendre le français facilement, well, French is quite a difficult language. To learn French easily, I think the best thing you should do is to listen to French language very often, watch TV show in French, watch videos in French on YouTube, try to read in French. Maybe if you're close to IFI, you can come to IFI. We have book of easy French, so you can get this literature experience through these books. You have many resources online, just YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. So yeah, I think the most important thing is to listen to French quite often. The radio, maybe the French television, everywhere you can. So you get familiar with the accent, the accents, because we have many different accents in France, and with the pronunciation and the vocabulary and everything. I think this is the best thing to do in the first place. Listen to French music as well. I succeed to understand a bit more Indonesian because I listen to a lot of Indonesian music. It has helped me a lot to I won't say what I listen to because sometimes I'm a bit ashamed, but I love it, and it's a good way to get familiar with the language. So yeah, do that, and then of course get a teacher because well, you can learn a language by yourself, but it will be a bumpy ride. If you get a teacher, if you go to IFI, you can have classes, and it would be the best option. But first, you get familiar with the language online, or if you have go to events you organize. You organize in a different IFI we organize different conversation club or different events to be able to speak in French. So do not hesitate to go to this event as well. It will help you get familiar with it. And information pour travailler ou rester avec la famille française. I don't have this in mind right now, but on the next slide, you will have my email address. So please send me your question on this email so that I don't forget it. And I will look for it and send it to you, okay? Because when I was au pair, it was a long time ago. I went there in 2018. So I think it has changed a lot since now. But I will just send me the message on my email. I will show you at the end, and I will send you what I found online. Yeah. Est-il possible de poursuivre un doctorat en France dans un domaine différent de celui du master? Par exemple, si j'ai une licence en langue étrangère, un master management? No, it's not possible. It's not possible. Well, from what I know, it's not possible. And also, the doctorate in France, it's very complicated. It's very precarious. You would need a lot of money to be able to do that because the situation of doctorant, I forgot how to say that in English, is they don't have many financing, especially in didactic or this kind of topics. All the money goes to science, so it's quite hard. How about offline program? I don't know about that. I'm sorry, I didn't follow this path. I don't have a doctorate. I don't know how it works. Online, are we online? Yeah. Same, Julie. Write me after the session, and I will put you in contact with the people here at IFI who might have the answer for this question, because it is not my department. But just send me this question, and I will direct you to the person who knows. Thank you. I am very interested in your story for two questions. In your opinion, which university, Sorbonne or Sciences Po, has a lower cost of living from the administration system to the other campus activities? It depends on if if you're able to get money from your government or the French government or not. Because as such, Sciences Po is way more expensive. But many people get to study in Sciences Po, let's say, for free. So you don't have the tuition fees to pay, but you still have all the books to buy and many other things. So Sorbonne is public university. So when I was there, a year in the bachelor degree was around 200 euro, and in the master's degree, so 300 euro is like 3 million rupiah, 3 or 4 million rupiah, and like the double for the master's degree. But all this depends on whether you have money from your government and the French government or not. And because as a foreign student, I think the different tuition fees apply to you. But same, I think it's a good idea. Send me the question afterwards to the email address you will see, and I will put you in contact with the good interlocutor. Or maybe I can just send the contact right now. Wait. They are from the French embassy too. One work in university operation and the other one in scientific, so doctorate and everything. Okay. You can send, I think you can contact them by email, all of them, and me as well in copy, so that they will answer you. What's her name? Sarah. Okay, for the campus activity, I don't know about Sciences Po because I haven't studied there. But Sorbonne University has quite a lot of options. But the thing is that Sorbonne University, such as Sciences Po, is very, how can I say? There are many campuses, so it depends where you are. When I was in my bachelor's degree, I was always between 4 different campuses that was quite far away. Some had many activities and some almost none. But what is very interesting also is that you can create your own association. You can create whatever you want. When I was there with my friend, we created 2 associations that now are quite big and works very well. So you have also these options. About Sciences Po, I don't know. As the best connection to alumni and international organization for internship and future careers. I would say it's Sciences Po because for the biggest network. I think Sciences Po works in networks while Sorbonne is trying to do it as well now, but since Sorbonne is public, it doesn't have the same connection. But I would say Sciences Po to this regard. Bonjour, okay. Okay, Shaima, Sarah. I'm just writing the email of my colleagues and then I go back to you. So you have all the information. Okay, and Marine, myself. So regarding the studies in France and the exchange program, please write a message to the two person I wrote in the discussion and put me in copy as well. So they know you come where you come from. Okay. Sciences Po. No, I didn't study in Sciences Po. But yeah, okay. Because you want to study in Sciences Po maybe or Sorbonne? We can talk about this the two of us later if you want. Okay. So yeah, beside all these things, like the official program exchange that exists between countries, you also have option of doing voluntary work or doing au pair work, like I did, of stuff like this. So it doesn't, if my colleague Shaima and Sarah don't have answers to what you really want to do, there are also other programs that you can do. And please, I forgot the name of the person who wanted to know about au pair, but please write to me in Marine Marques. I will at IFI, id.com, and I will try to find you options for au pair work. Yeah, but there's also the visa problem. This I don't know how it works, but maybe they know. Okay, so do not, Iwan Tia, you can write me whenever you want. And can you work while pursuing a master? Yes, you can work while you're pursuing a master. And I was actually working while pursuing my master as well. But it depends because sometimes the master's degree is very dense. So you don't have time to work actually, or you have to miss classes so you can work. Well, actually, I wasn't working. I was a volunteer beside my work. And also it was COVID. So we were at home actually. So I forgot about this, but yeah, we were at home for the second year. Okay, and yeah, we can move on to the to what's next. I forgot what it is. Yeah, my professional life. So after completing my master's degree and my internship in the French Parliament, I got lucky enough to be recruited in the Ministry of Interior, where I work for the French presidency of the Council. This has been an experience of a year where I was chosen to go to Brussels. Brussels is the capital of Belgium and the head of the European Parliament. And I was chosen to go there to represent France in a negotiation in civil security. So as someone who just graduated, it was an amazing opportunity. They trust me very early when I arrived there. And for a year, I was in charge of this negotiation with my team and other interlocutor. It was a dream because the presidency of the council of a country happens every 14 years. 14 years is a lot. And I got lucky enough to graduate when France was president. So it was perfect. In French, we say les planètes se sont alignées. The planets aligned all together, and I was able to do that. And actually, I started this opportunity as a 2 months internship. It was supposed to be just 2 months internship. And after these 2 months, they told me, no, we want you to stay. And I got a extended 1 year contract with them, not as an intern, but as a normal contract. So yeah, sometimes, many times, a traineeship can get you a position, sometimes permanent, sometimes temporary, but it's a great opportunity to start a career. Lilia, you already speak very good French. We talk almost every week together. I know you speak very good French. And Ministry of Interior. Okay, so this experience was great and it has enabled me to travel a lot. I was traveling a lot between Belgium and France. And when I applied, I was pretty sure they would refuse me. In my mind, it was impossible. But I still did it and I got the opportunity. So you have to believe in yourself and even if you think that you lack of something for an opportunity, just go for it. And it might happen if it's meant to be. And well, after this opportunity, I really wanted to stay in the European bubble, so I started to work for the European Parliament. And in the European Parliament, it was more administrative. It was less interesting what I was doing. What I was doing in the Ministry of Interior, for me, it was the most fulfilling thing I did so far professionally. I really, really enjoyed it. And in the European Parliament, it was more administrative, very interesting, many opportunities for network, but very hard to stay there as well. Very, very hard because of lot of competition, because we have people from all European countries. But well, then I decided I wanted to join the, let's say, diplomatic aspect of my career, the politics, like what I get from the European Parliament, from the Ministry of Interior, with what I was able to do in Spain and Portugal with the French language. So yeah, I forgot something. I was working actually when I was doing my master's degree. I forgot, but I was working. I was working as a French teacher for exiled people, so immigrants who are in France. I was doing that part-time when I was the whole time of my master's degree, and also when I was in the Ministry of Interior, actually. I did it for 3 years. So yeah, so I wanted to link this French language things, cultural thing, project management with the diplomacy, with the strategic vision. And that's why I was very interesting to the current position I have in the French embassy. I wasn't necessarily meant to do it in Jakarta, in Indonesia, because I start applying to job um, that were in countries speak the language, so which means countries that speak English, Spanish, French, or Portuguese, which is already many, many countries. But in the end, I extended my research to Indonesia, and this is the opportunity I got. I got refused everywhere else, rejected, and in the end, I was accepted in Indonesia. So we never really know how the process works. So even if you think that a job or a destination fits you better than another one, try all of them and you will see where it takes you. Because at first I wasn't really interested in going to Indonesia because I thought my profile didn't match and I had zero chance to go there. And in the end, I'm very thankful to be here and I love being here. It has been a blast, a great experience, and the most how can I say, the most dépaysante. I don't know how to say dépaysante. The most
Scenery,
excuse me,
scenery.
scenery. The most scenery experience of my life. I've discovered a new culture, a new language, a new continent, new everything. So it's very fulfilling, and I think you don't put barrier. Like don't ever censor yourself. Go. The limit is yourself. Is where you put it. So don't put any limit, and you will be able to have great surprise in your life. If you told me 2 years ago that I would move to Indonesia for 2 years, I would have never believed this. And in the end, here I am, and I love my life here. I was in France for 10 days uh, last week, and I just wanted to come back here. I I was waiting forward to come back to Indonesia. And how long you will be working here? It's a 2-year mission.
Kayaknya nggak ada snack ya? Hah? Kayaknya nggak ada ya?
All right. Yeah, Julie D, it's a 2-year mission. Actually, it's part of a program, a French program that is for, let's say, young diplomats to discover the work of embassies throughout the world. So we have to be under 28 when we apply, and then we can stay between 1 and 2 years in there are destinations all around the world, and we have to we stay between 1 and 2 years. Most people say 2 years, but some people decide to go home after 1 year. But yeah, it's a very great program, and we are very lucky in France and in the EU to have a different program like this to discover diplomatic life. Because yeah, diplomacy is not very accessible. It's mostly people. A lot of the time, it's people who've been to big universities with parents who work in the system or stuff like this. My parents don't work in the system at all, and I. Pourquoi on est votre premier choix? it wasn't my first choice, actually. I didn't choose Indonesia, but Indonesia chose me. Let's say it like this. I The job offer was very interesting in Indonesia. It was very different from other countries because I applied to the same position in different country. But in some country, the job offer was very not very oriented as I wanted. But the job offer in Indonesia was very diverse, very yeah, there were many things on it. So sometimes in other country, for the same position, there were only 2 lines, like you have to do this and this. For the job in Indonesia, maybe 15 lines, so it was way more. And I thought it would be very interesting to have such a position. But at the same time, I never thought I would be chosen for this job because there were stuff specifically regarding pedagogy or ingénierie de formation that I never did in my life, and I was willing to discover it, but I never knew I would got the chance to go there. So will you be a chance to be a young diplomat in France when you come back there? If I want to become a diplomat, like a real diplomat, I have to prepare a concours. I forgot. I have to go through a competition and have many exams in order to become a diplomat. So it's quite hard. It's quite hard, but then if I succeed, I got a position for life. So I think I will try to do it. Maybe not this year or next year, but in a few years. But yeah, you need to go through a competition to succeed, and only the best will have a position afterwards. Because many people try the competition every year, but just a few ones succeed. You have to be very well prepared, and there are many things to have in mind in very different fields. So it's quite hard. Not impossible, but quite hard. Bonjour Marie, je m'appelle Adit. Bien sûr, Adit, c'est quoi ta question?
Euh, Merci Marine. Je m'appelle Adit. D'abord,
Enchantée.
enchanté. Euh, je possède 2 questions. Numéro un, pourquoi avez-vous décidé de choisir l'espagnol et le portugais pour apprendre d'autres langues étrangères? Parce qu'aujourd'hui, je pense que j'ai déjà appris l'anglais et le
J'entends pas très
français.
bien parce que ça
Mais
coupe.
pourquoi vous avez choisi cette langue Marseille? Parce que, parce que je voudrais étudier là-bas. Merci.
Ok. Alors, tu parles très bien français. J'ai pas de doute là-dessus, mais ça a été coupé plusieurs fois, donc j'ai pas tout entendu exactement. Tu me demandes pourquoi j'ai choisi ces langues-là? J'ai pas.
Euh, pourquoi, pourquoi vous avez choisi l'espagnol et le portugais pour votre expérience étrangère?
Ok. Alors, j'ai choisi le portugais parce que je suis franco-portugaise et que je voulais avoir davantage de connaissances des pays qui parlent le portugais, des pays lusophones. Parce qu'à travers ma formation, c'est pas des cours de langue que j'avais, c'est des cours de géopolitique, d'histoire, de droit, mais dans différentes langues. Et je voulais avoir une connaissance approfondie du portugais, qui est ma deuxième langue, à travers l'université. Parce que I will go back. Sorry, I will go back to English maybe so everyone can understand. So yeah, I choose Portuguese. Yeah, because I choose Portuguese because even though I'm French and Portuguese, I really wanted to have more insight in the Portuguese culture and geopolitics and history and law and everything. And that was what my bachelor's degree would enable me to do. And for Spanish, it's because yeah, I already started to learn Spanish when I was in high school and junior high school, so I wanted to keep on learning Spanish. And also because when you speak French, Spanish, and Portuguese, you have access in English, you have access to all the countries in America. So it's already a lot of countries to be able to work in. You have access linguistically also to different countries in Europe, because in Europe, well, 1, 2, 3, 3 countries speak French, 1 Spanish, 1 Portuguese. Many also have French as a second language, so it's quite easy to work there like this. And in Africa, many people speak French as well and Portuguese. So in my mind, it was an access to many continents and many cultures with these languages. So it was also the easiest option for me, of course, because some people choose Chinese, Japanese, Turkish, Arabic, but I really wanted to go deeper in the languages I already know. So that's why I choose them. And also because besides Chinese, Japanese, Arabic, you needed to already have a good level of language to be able to start the bachelor degree. For instance, if I wanted to do German or Italian or Dutch, it would have been impossible because they don't have this language as the beginner level. You start directly when you have at least B1 or B2. Or even C1. I had C1 at that time, so it was what enabled me to get in. And what was your second question? I don't remember. I don't know if you already asked it.
Oui, j'ai déjà posé cela. Je vous répète, euh, est-ce que vous possédez une expérience avec l'université Aix-en-Marseille? Parce que oui, je voudrais choisir l'université Sorbonne pour mon doctorat, j'espère, doctorat du droit international. Mais aujourd'hui, mon premier choix, c'est Aix-en-Marseille parce que, parce que, parce qu'il se trouve l'institut interdisciplinaire là-bas, je pense. Est-ce que vous possédez expérience avec cette chose ou quelqu'un qui a déjà étudié là-bas?
Alors pour le coup, je n'ai pas, moi je connais pas, mais j'ai une
Mhm.
amie qui étudie là-bas le droit international.
Ah,
Donc
ok.
hésite pas à m'écrire sur mon write me on my the email I put in the chat, and I will put you in contact with my friend who is currently studying at Aix-Marseille International Law. She would be able to help you better than I can on this matter.
Ok. Merci beaucoup, Marine.
De rien, sama sama. I hope you will succeed.
Merci.
Okay, and I saw one question. Comment ça va? Thank you, Beatrix. Ça va très bien. I hope you're doing well too. On behalf of my daughter, because she's now in Lyon taking language summer course, I want to ask a question regarding BTS, MMD, métier du vêtement de la mode. Is there any difference in terms of the quality of the education between BTS and licence pro and private school, especially for some BTS in smaller city? Is there any difference? I think there are difference in reputation, but it's starting to change now. Because before BTS was seen as let's say bad thing, but people realize more and more that it's actually very formateur. It's unable to, how can I say? I think it's not necessary to go to a private school, but yeah, unless you have the money for that and you're willing to spend it in this area. But I think BTS and Licence Pro would be the best options. But same for this, I'm not a specialist in this issue, so I think you should ask the person I put the contact before in the conversation, Shaima and Sarah. I think Shaima would be able to answer your question properly because she works in the cooperation between in this area. So she will be able to give you a proper answer, way better than mine. Théodore, de rien, Béatrix. Please, if you contact her, you can put me in copy so I'll say that we met. I gave you her contact through this webinar so she knows how you got it. Literature student, and my curriculum doesn't cover diplomacy nor IR, and I'm very interested in the field. Are there any advice on how I can get into diplomacy and develop career there? There are many. Well, it depends if you want something official or not. If you want something that doesn't necessarily have a diploma or certification, you have many resources online, like on YouTube. You have also MOOC. you know what MOOC is? MOOC. It's like online formation. You have many online MOOC that exist in many languages. You just type MOOC, MOOC, online international relation, or the topic you want, and you will find many things. And sometimes this formation get you a certificate, sometimes they don't. But yeah, in France, for instance, I wanted to get first knowledge in international relation. So I got in contact with the, what's the name? Institut de géopolitique appliquée. I'm gonna write it down. Institut de géopolitique appliquée. And through them, I got a certification in geopolitics. But for me, it wasn't very. Maybe they changed because I did that long time ago. But at that time, the teachers just give you notes and you do it without them. So the content was great, very interested and very up to date, but the format was not very good. Maybe because it was COVID, I don't know. But yeah, you have many think tank or institutes that give online formation, plenty of them, and it's very you want diplomacy or IR, yeah. You have, for instance, I'm gonna try to remember. I think it's IREMO. You have, yeah, IREMO, Académie Notre Europe. Yeah, but I think, yeah, if you want to get first knowledge in this, maybe you could try it by yourself online, like YouTube videos. There are people who explain very well, very complex things. So it's very, I said very a lot. It's practical if you want to understand a complex subject, and if you want to have it with certification, it's better to go for a MOOC. MOOC, it's written like this, and a certified MOOC, but you will have to pay for that. But it depends what you want to do with this knowledge. But yeah. Okay, first, thank you for sharing me. You're welcome. I want to ask, how did you decide on your major, and did your parents interfere in the decision-making process? My parents didn't interfere. My parents actually, they didn't study, so they didn't know how it worked. They are technicians, so they don't know how all this university and diplomacy thing work. They encouraged me to follow what I wanted to do, but they never forced me to do something, or yes, they forced me to do Spanish instead of German when I was in middle school. But beside that, they never forced me into anything. And I decided on my major. I chose something very large because I didn't really know what to do. I still don't know what I will do after this job, actually. So life is a constant reflection on yourself. But yeah, I will just I choose something that was quite wide in terms of opportunities and based on languages, because I really wanted to have a career based on languages and mobility. So if you want to be mobile in the world, you need to speak languages. So that's why I choose a quadrilingual degree. Okay. My parents don't know. From your experience, you must be already met many foreigners, right? So how do you get along with them since you have different cultures? Actually, in this country, I connected to most people, well, most Indonesian, I mean, to most locals through music, because I love to go see live music concerts. This is something I really appreciate, wherever it is in France, in all the countries I've lived in. And in Jakarta, I go out every week to see live music concert in different places. And that's how I met most of the people I know here, through music. So we started to connect through this, and then we talk about different things. And yeah, we talk about our cultural differences. Sometimes we just talk about other things. But yeah, I've lived in 5 different countries. Well, 4 if you exclude France. And if you want to meet local people, the best thing to do is just to hang out by yourself, doing the things you love, and you will meet people with the same interest as you. So yeah, I'm really happy because my friends in France, they don't like the same music as I do. So I do go there also. I started going there by myself because my friends didn't want to go with me. And here I got lucky enough to meet people who now share the same interests. So we do this activity together now. Also, I love like horror movie, and I met people in the theater, and now we go see horror movie together. Like it's just like casualties of life. As you said, you work in the French, and also there are also many, I don't know in Jakarta, but usually there are many like Erasmus events or like international people events that you can find on WhatsApp group or Facebook pages back in the days. You in every city, every big city, you have networks of foreign people, so you can go in there to either speak languages or to just be with foreign people or yeah. But well, from my experience, I don't want to be in Jakarta with over foreign people. I really want to be with local people and to get to know the culture the best I can. So I stay away from these intercultural events. But I know many people create links and friends through this kind of thing. As you said, you work in the French government. I did, yes. So you must live with diplomatic thing. What's interesting about diplomacy, according to your experience? Well, what's interesting about diplomacy? It's a very interesting question. It's when you work in diplomacy or in ministries, it's you work for the public sector, so you work for the general interest, and this is something that is very let's say I'm very proud to be able to do that, to work, because I'm not interested in private interest or companies. I've always been interested for the public sector, and I think this is really gratifying to be able to do such a job, to be able to pursue a common goal with many people who are passionate about it as well. And this is something that is actually very diverse because you can work in in culture, in pedagogy, in security, in economics, in politics, in press and media and communication. There are many different ways to get into it. Some people get through diplomacy through communication, sometimes through media, through you don't have one path to go there. And it's what is very interesting as well. You have many things. Like for instance, when I was working for the French Ministry of Interior, I was working in security, and all the people in my team and all the people in the directorate actually, they arrived there because they studied security. And I was the only one who got there because I studied European affairs, and it was a time when they needed someone for European negotiation. So my background was different from the other one, but it was exactly what made me be recruited and what made me be chosen to do the negotiation. So you have many different ways to go somewhere, and you just need to see clearly how everything is linked. And when you send a job, what's the word? I'm sorry, I haven't spoken English in a long time. When you send a job application, you need to write clearly to the recruiter how all of this makes sense with your past experience and where you want to go in the future. You need to have a vision. And if you have this vision, explain it clearly so they can understand. And if you are able to share it properly, then it should work. So what's interesting is that diplomacy is very diverse. You meet many people. You usually work with people who are passionate, and it gives you mobility because it's a job you can do anywhere in the world. So those are, I think, the best asset of this sector. Combien coûte la vie à Paris par mois si j'habite à Paris et dans quel quartier? It's very expensive actually. I couldn't say because when I came back to Paris last week, I spent more in 10 days than I spent in 2 months in Jakarta or 3 months. Paris is a very expensive city. It's very hard to find accommodation. Most people now live in the suburbs of Paris. I think it's minimum 600 to 800 euro, which is the equivalent of like 12 to 14 million rupiah just for the accommodation. Then you can add at least 2 million for grocery shopping and all the rest. So yeah, I think at least 20 million, around 20 million rupiah a month, I would say. Quel quartier, what neighborhoods? Go for the cheapest one. I don't because it's I would suggest to go in the suburbs because now also the public transportation they go far away in the suburbs, so you can have something cheaper in nice city neighborhood, let's say, with access to Paris very easily and rapidly. So I would go for the suburbs, whatever city in the suburbs, or like not in the city center. City center is beautiful, but I think if you want to live there, you have to double the price I just mentioned. It is very, very expensive. It's yeah, even for 600 euro, so 11 million rupiah, I think you will have an apartment that is smaller than a bathroom, you know, like maybe 12 meters squared. Or you can choose the option to live in with other people, in a big apartment with other people. This would be also a good opportunity to put money to do some economics. It's Paris is very, very expensive. I think you should also consider over French cities, like Lyon, like Lille, like Bordeaux, or city in other like smaller city in France. Life would be less expensive and maybe better because less people, less traffic, less pollution. So weather would be better. People smile more. I'm from Paris, so I know people don't smile there. You will be able to find very good opportunities outside of Paris and not as expensive as in Paris. Even though I know Paris is beautiful, but it has many bad aspects as well.
Excuse me, Marine.
Yes.
I think due to the time limitation, I'll suggest that the question from Gaska will be the last question. Is it
Okay.
okay? Yeah.
No problem.
Thank you.
I think it was my last slide anyway. Can you show me what was the next one? I don't remember. I think it was the last one. In the PPT, I don't think I had something else to say. Yeah, thank you. So no, it was the last one. So Gashka, pardon. J'espère que vous allez bien. Je voudrais poser une question. Is becoming a French content writer, rédacteur de contenu français, or French translator a good choice of prospect career in the future? I don't know. I think it is. It is if it is something you like and if it is your passion, it's a good idea. If it's something you don't really like, then go for maybe something that you feel more connected to. But yeah, a translator is a good choice, especially if it's Indonesian French traduction, because I don't think there are that many people who speak French and Indonesian. Unlike, for instance, for me, being a translator in French and Spanish or French and Portuguese, there are already plenty of them. Plenty, like a million of them. But French Indonesian, I think it would be a good opportunity. And yes, if you have, like it said in the chat, if you have other question, please don't hesitate to contact me in my email address and say you come from this webinar so I can understand better. But yeah, content writer, I don't really see what it is, but I think everything is a good prospect, is a good career as long as as you like it. Like if it's something that you feel is made for you, then go for it. If you think it doesn't suit you, then try to find what suits you. But yeah, my opinion doesn't matter on the subject. What matters is what you think about that and if you would be still doing it. I studied IR in Indonesia at my bachelor's degree and need to move to master's degree in retail business because of Latin model nowadays. Ça va, Siri? Do you have any recommendation for the best French university that offer the best master's degree? Okay, for the second question, I suggest you to contact the two persons I mentioned before, Sarah and Shaima. they will have all the answers to your question, and they will be also able to redirect you to programs if they are that would be able to suit you for your mobility. So yeah, I think it's better for them to do that. Yeah. I hope I was able to answer your question properly and to give you some insight of
All right. Thank
yes.
you so much, Maureen.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, it was an amazing presentation and interaction with the publics, with the participants here. And yeah, I agree with Madame Julie. She said that you are kind and
Thank you.
you can share your emails and then the emails of your colleagues too for them to get connected and ask their questions. That's the important part of these interactions, right?
Mhm.
So that they can have like their answers and insights. Yeah, I think they are all having dreams to study in France and to live in France or to work in France. Yeah. So, well, thank you very much again and again. And so, through your presentation, we can understand more and better about the journey of a French living in France, study in France, work in France, and also working in Indonesia right now. So, mudah-mudahan bagi para peserta dapat mendapatkan apa ya insight dan mungkin in your mind you can compare the study or the journey your journey in Indonesia and with the journey of Marine in France. So I think we are already in the end of the event, and I will give this closing to my colleague Lani as the MC. Again, thank you very much, Marine, and see you around.
You're around, yeah.
Thank you very much, Ibu Mairani, Madam Marin, for the information for today. Merci beaucoup, Marin, pour ce webinaire très enrichissant. Untuk sesi kali ini sudah ditutup dan terima kasih banyak untuk teman-teman semuanya yang sudah membantu dan banyak bertanya di kolom komentar. Webinar kali ini sangat insightful banget dan sangat keren banget semuanya. Merci beaucoup. Terima kasih banyak telah mengikuti webinar kali ini. Mohon ditunggu untuk webinar selanjutnya. Terima kasih banyak semuanya.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci
Thank you.
beaucoup. À bientôt.
À très bientôt.
Merci beaucoup, Marine.
Merci à vous. Bonne fin de journée. Et on reste
Bonne
en contact.
journée. Au revoir.
Au revoir.